Adobe Edge Animate contains an end-to-end project assembly workflow that will make your life so much easier. In this example, I'm going to prepare a composition using images and web fonts. I'm also going to add some motion, some interactivity, and then finish up by previewing the composition in a browser. It won't be a deep dive into the various techniques, but as you follow along, you will see the end-to-end workflow involved in creating an Animate composition, assemble, animate, browser test is relatively straightforward. We start by opening a brand new Animate document here, and you'll notice it's an HTML document because Animate works in the HTML space. And what I want to do is just change the stage size to 970 pixels wide by 90 pixels high. And of course, I want to change the background color of the stage, so I'm just click on this color chip here, click on black, and I've got a nice black stage color. Now I can zoom out the stage here or zoom in on the stage just by using the view menu, and I want to zoom out so I can see the entire stage in the stage window here. And now what I need is some content. So I'm going to go to File, Import, and I've got three images, an autumn image, a background image, and a button PNG image. And by holding down the Shift key, I can select all three of them, click the Open button, and all three images come into the project. You can see that they are elements here on the stage, they're little divs, and each of the images that was contained in the import is currently sitting in the library. So let's get this assembled. So I'm just going to move this image over, this background image, and I'm going to grab the button and sort of move it there. So now I've pretty well got the background set. Going to need a little bit of text. So let's click the text tool, click once, and enter the word autumn. Click OK. And black text on a white background just isn't working. So I'm going to take the text and change its color to white in the Properties panel. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to take it up to 40 pixels. And while we're at it, let's make it bold. And I'm going to move this text over here, and you notice that purple line, that's a smart guide that allows me to align this text with the button. Now what I want is a little bit of a subhead here, a collection of colors. So I'm just going to click once, type in the text, and you'll notice it retained the same properties as the original text. So all I have to do is just knock it back to about 24 pixels. And I'm not going to make this one bold, I'm going to have it normal. And I'm also going to line it up. Now I'm not too happy with the font here. It's my typical fonts here. You notice the list is here. These are your web fonts that we're so used to. But one of the great things about working with Edge is that you can actually use web fonts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import a web font into Animate. So I go over to my browser, and I go to my Typekit account, and I've decided that the font I want to use is Franklin Gothic, right there. And I've chosen the book and the demi weights. And to get this font into Edge, all I need to do is click the embed code, and I need two little lines of JavaScript right here. So I'm just going to copy the JavaScript to the clipboard, and then I'm going to return back to Edge, come to the library, and click this little plus sign beside the font, and I paste the embed code into the Add Web Font window. And there's the embed code. Now I also need to name the font. So I'm going to return back to the browser. I can close this, I don't need it. And I see that the font name is here, Franklin Gothic URW. It must be that one. And I need the quotation marks, and I'm going to give it a fallback too, which is sans serif. So I'm going to copy and paste that in as well. Now with the font ready to go, I can just click the Publish button, and it'll just take a second or two just to upload it across the network. And then I can see it in Edge. So I go back to Edge, come to my font fallback list, paste the list in, click Add Font, and you can see that it appears here. But if I have both of these selected, I have Franklin Gothic here, and it's picked up the weights. Now what I want to do is animate this text. I want this text to sort of drop into its final position. Now the first thing is, I don't even know that this is the headline, so I'm just going to double click this and call it head, and then I'm going to get the subhead, and I'm going to call it subhead. You notice you can name the elements. And what I'm going to do is basically have this drop into place, as I said. To do that, I'm just going to click a little item here called the pin, and I'm going to move the pin out to about the half-second mark, and I'm just going to move the text up. And if I rewind, that's the rewind button there, and play, you can see that the word autumn drops into place. Now, the other thing I'd like to do is give this button here a little bit of interactivity. So I click the button, and right here is our little brackets, which is called Open Actions. It's also over here in the Timelines panel, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to click that. I'm going to say when I click this button, this is the event, a whole list of what we call snippets are in here. And I'm going to open a URL, and let's just go to the Adobe site. So when I click, I should expect to go to the Adobe site. Close the code panel, and let's browser test. Now I can do this one of two ways. I can choose File, Preview in Browser, or press Control Return. What I'm going to do is press Control Return. And the project opens in a browser. And if I click on the details, we go to the Adobe site. So there you go. There's the end-to-end workflow. It's very simple. Assemble, animate, browser test, and as you saw, I've created a little interactive banner ad in a little less than 10 minutes.